Stage 5 was an awesome stage on paper, and when we first walked up to the stage and looked at it, it looked really awesome too, and I thought I had a great plan for this stage. It was the only stage at the match where we actually had to move between 3 different bays, so it was set up for 1 gun per bay. You started, actually, let me take that back. You had the option of starting anywhere, but every person that I either heard about or watched shoot the stage shot it in the same order. So I'll just go through the order as I shot it. You started all the way to the right hand bay, which was pistol bay, and there was an array of, I believe, 12 pistol popper targets, which absolutely reminds me of the pistol portion of the 3-Gun Nation shoot-off, where it's just a bunch of poppers right next to each other, and they're in a V shape, and you can see the 2 guys, one on each side, and they're racing down to the stop plate in the middle. That's exactly what it looked like, except these jokers were big. I mean, they were the big ones with like the 10-inch circles at the top. They're easy to miss though. they look like beach balls out there. The kicker here was that you had to start in a starting box, but you didn't have your pistol. One of the sponsors of the event was a gun vault manufacturer, and they had like a police SUV there with a gun vault in the back, and you had to place your pistol in the back of the car, and starting position was actually about 20 yards forward of there, and the gun was unloaded, obviously. So what we picked up on after the first couple of shooters, or maybe it was during the walkthrough, was that you couldn't you couldn't put your magazine with the pistol, but it could be anywhere on your body. So what we all started doing was just holding the magazine in our hand in the starting box, and then by the time you go and retrieve the pistol and you reload it, you haven't lost any time at all. You don't fumble it off your belt or anything like that. So a quick jog back to the car to get the pistol, and then a jog back forward down the bay into the shooting box or the starting box, and then 12 pistol poppers. And I honestly believe I shot that pistol portion about as well as I probably could have. I had about, I think, 3 misses total. I missed the first shot, and then I ran about 10 straight before having 2 misses going down to the end. And I finished my order. I shot 1 shot per target all the way down the array, and came back and got the last 2 that I missed on the way back. Got my makeup on the first shot both times, dumped the pistol, and then you had to run about 100 yards to the next bay. This is where I shot this stage different than anybody else. I was at the point in the match where I was having a good solid match, and if I really wanted to make any difference in my score one way or the other, I was going to have to take a couple of chances. And if I'm going to take a chance with something, it's usually with the shotgun. Here we had a Polish plate rack, which probably isn't anybody's favorite kind of target, but I've shot them before. I've watched a lot of people, especially the 3-Gun Nation guys, shoot them, so I know how to shoot it. There's a Polish plate rack in the middle with 8 targets on it, and then 3 steel knockdown plates or poppers on each side for a total of 14 targets. And I noticed during the walkthrough that 2 of those poppers looked like they could be taken in 1 shot. Not everybody was hitting it consistently, but I noticed that if I took my time and aimed just right on the targets and leaned out of the shooting box just a little bit, I was fairly certain I could get it in 1 shot. So I took a chance. What I planned on doing was retrieving my shotgun, loading 4 right off the rip, because as I was running around the bay, I went ahead and grabbed the shells off the belt and was carrying them in my hand. You know, if I'd have dropped them or something, I could have just threw them down and grabbed 4 more. But it saved me about 2 seconds from having to reach to the belt and reload when I got to the shotgun. So I come into the shooting position. I've got the shells in my hand already. I tossed them in the bucket because my shotgun was set up with the port up. So all I had to do was toss the shells in. And then I had to shoot 14 shots, or I had to shoot 14 targets with 13 shells. And obviously I had no room for errors, and what I did do was miss 1 of the shots on the Polish plate rack, but I had my match saver, and I had already planned this out in my head, and I hit my double like I planned on. I match savered for the last shot, and probably shot the shotgun portion quicker than anybody else on the squad just because of my plan. And then I moved as fast as I could to the rifle portion. This is where I made a critical mistake, probably the biggest mistake I made of the match. It was set up behind a 3-sided barricade with paper targets on 3 different sides, each side and then at the end of the berm. The 2 ports on the sides were fairly easy to shoot through. One you could take standing, one you could take kneeling. It was the one in the center that was the problem because it was only about 6 inches and it was down at the ground. So you either had to lay down prone and shoot them that way with your gun canted, or you had to shoot it urban prone. All the way through the walkthrough the night before, in my mind, I planned on shooting this urban prone. Then we got a lot of rain. It was muddy, it was dirty. Everybody that was laying down in the walkthrough was just getting covered from head to toe like in dirt and mud. And I practiced it urban prone. I leaned over, I was resting on the top of my hat, and I felt like I could see underneath that barricade just fine. And then I watched every single shooter in our squad shoot it prone with the rifle canted to the side. And I made a mistake in changing my plan. And I honestly have about as much experience shooting in that position as I do urban prone, so I really didn't feel any more comfortable either way. It's just something you don't practice really at all, hardly. And what I found out was that I decided to shoot it laying prone with the gun canted, and I could not see through my scope at all. The depth of field was wrong. The field of view was wrong. I could only get a glimpse of the paper targets like once every 4 or 5 seconds, and I basically shot all 4 of those targets with a black scope. I'm very lucky that I only had 1 miss, so 1 penalty of 5 seconds. But I went back and watched the video, and I wasted close to 30 seconds on the stage by choosing to do that. And then, of course, like 2 shooters after me, Joe Farewell comes up there and just absolutely crushes it, shooting at urban prone. So that was just literally another lesson to never change your plan. I had my plan in my mind, and I'm a big proponent of sticking with your plan, and I made the mistake of doing the wrong thing. Shouldn't have changed my plan. But I still had a solid stage. I didn't completely crash and burn. It didn't hurt me in the long run. And all that time I gained on the shotgun portion, I gave right back on the rifle. So enjoy stage 5.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Stand by. You're finished. That looks so clear.
Couldn't see nothing.
Watch your mother.
Thanks for joining me today on my YouTube channel, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video. To subscribe for more video content every week, click the video right here. To watch more videos just like the one you saw today, click this video right here. Once again, this is Mac. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.